There we go. Hi guys, and welcome back to Let's Talk Music. And if you're new here, then welcome. We are fresh off the bat off our Let's Talk Music, Blue Line Let's Talk Music takeover. That was epic. If you haven't seen that video from that, please go and check it out. We've got a few more Blue Line takeovers coming up for you soon, hopefully. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the future. I don't think I have any updates other than that. Do I have any updates other than that? I do not. But tonight we have some guests again. It's been great getting guests on. Recently I've had like basically back to back, which has been quite nice. So hi guys, do you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, how you doing? My name's Mick Bones from the band Feral Sun, London-based rock band.
Hi, my name is Andrea. I'm a bass player in Feral Sun.
Amazing. Well, welcome to Let's Talk Music. Thank you for coming on. I'd like to start my interviews with like a icebreaker question. I've done it with everyone that's come on. If you could describe your personality as a color, what would it be and why?
Interesting one. I'm probably going to go with blue.
Okay.
Especially various shades of blue. I like to see myself as quite neutral in that sense. Yeah. But at the same time, especially in writing, there's different shades. So there's a dark and a light shade. I'm pretty much in every color. I think in blue you can go from a very light blue, which could be quite nice, and then you get to a dark blue, which can be quite depressing, I would say. But that is a sort of within rock and metal music. It's I think a thing of my character as well. I think.
That's cool.
For me, black.
Black.
Yeah, I mostly wear black clothes and
yeah.
I don't know actually, but I just feel comfortable with that. So
yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I get that answer a lot. You would be surprised how much. Just looking back from my questions. But that's cool. So, two music questions. Where did the name for the band come from?
Right. I mean, this goes all the way back to probably my roots in South Africa. Starting out as a very sort of alternative band called Wild Child, which then the music became heavier. We had one or two lineup changes already in South Africa, and then decided, the name doesn't suit the band.
Yeah.
So I literally just looked up what's another word for wild, and feral was there, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I mean, that was still quite sort of late, or what was it, sort of mid-90s kind of thing, and just thought, wow, maybe it sounds a bit grungy, because we had obviously a grungy influence back then, and then from all the fans and everyone that heard our music, they always used to say we just got a lot of energy, and I just thought, well, what is a lot of energy? And being from South Africa, a lot of sunshine, I was just about to go and leave South Africa, and I thought, well, Feral Sun, and at first it just didn't really fit with me, and I just started throwing it about, and a couple of friends were like, no, that's really good, we really like that, but I wasn't convinced until I started having a look. And I think back then there was like yourbandname.com or whatever it is, and I just let's just have a look. I'm sure there's probably like 1,000 Feral Suns out there, might be one in Brazil or whatever it is, and it just came up with, I put it in and I registered it, and it was one of one, and I was like, no, there must be something wrong. So I tried another band name, whatever it was, and there was more than one, and went back to Feral Sun, and there it was. And the same thing when MySpace came about, where I was like, right, now I'm going to see that we definitely have more than one in the world, and it was just one of one there as well. And I was like, I think we hit a gold mine with this. So cool. Yeah, so the name stuck,
That's cool. I feel like the way you're describing some of this is going to make a few people feel a bit old. Thinking back to MySpace and
No, absolutely.
But no, it's a cool name. It's a good name. Hang on, I've got prompts today because my brain was not working. Have you guys got any inspirations, like artists, bands, either like do you have like just separately or as a band or whatever, really?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll go first, and I'm sure Andre can
Yeah.
continue that. We, all members have sort of come back from different genres as such. I think me and Andreas sort
Mm.
of are the closest match with, coming from the rock grunge scene. So
Mm-hmm.
very much your Pearl Jams, Alice in Chains,
Mm.
all the way to the new ones. Seether from South Africa as well.
Mm-hmm.
Followed them from their humble Sarin Gas. But then, I've also gone into the Alter Bridge, Breaking Benjamin, and all those kind of bands. A bit of the heavier ones. There's a bit of Trivium there,
Mm.
Killswitch Engage, and I'll let Andrea go into his side of the things.
Yeah.
Andrea?
Yeah, yeah, as Mick said, we got a lot in common with Mick,
Mm.
especially on the grunge side. I'm mostly grew up with Black Sabbath,
Mm-hmm.
so back in the 70s style. But
Mm-hmm.
then because the 90s came up, and I'm feeling, as you said, I'm feeling a little bit old now because
Yeah.
like it was 30 years ago. I mean,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's when the grunge came up, like bands like Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and Alice in Chains. I was
Mm.
like, wow, that's what I want to do. And then Alter Bridge and yeah, all the stuff. So
Oh,
we keep. I think our style is like the roots from between grunge and 70s rock or
that's cool.
80s, you know.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool. Cool. So, what got you guys into music? Was there something you can pinpoint where you were like, that was the moment that I wanted to play this or wanted to do this or wanted to be in music?
Well, for me, it was basically I was about 16
Mm-hmm.
and just happened to meet a friend that was just down the road from where I grew up,
Mm-hmm.
and stumbled upon him playing guitar, and I was like, oh, that I don't know why, it sort of caught me at that moment, and I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that looks I want to try. Little did I know how hard it was because he made it look quite easy, and I thought he'd be playing for years, but actually, I think he only played for about 6 months at that point. But
Oh,
he
wow.
showed me the rest, in like how to restring a guitar and
Mm.
all the basics. But I just literally immersed myself into wanting to learn to play guitar and
Mm.
started getting tablatures, your tabs, and
Mm.
trying to learn every single song I could. I mean, going back to the Nirvana era, I think Nirvana guitar was like easier than Metallica because I looked at the Metallica tablature and I was like, hell no, not going to be able to play this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just started learning that, and branching from that to playing originals was unfortunately due to losing a good friend of mine.
Mm.
We were still in school, kind of thing,
Mm.
and I just wanted to do something in her memory, and decided, well, maybe I should try and write a song, because up until that point, I was just thinking about playing guitar, not thinking about I'm going to
Mm.
sing. But
Yeah.
it's a really simple chord structure. Two chords in a verse and two chords in a chorus,
Yeah.
and singing it in a church to like a whole school. And that sort of like sparked off my whole thing and love for songwriting as such. So that's where mine sparks off from.
That's cool.
Yeah, for me it was a bit different because I actually don't remember when I started to think about like I wanna be I wanna be a musician or
Yeah.
something. I probably I if I remember well, I have an old sister,
Mm.
and with my cousin, they were into music, but they were not musicians. They just love have listen music.
Mm.
They had a lot of LPs, and I think the first approach was that one, and uh, trying to get as much as I could. And then eventually I remember have like a foggy memory of me watching MTV, and I saw this rock band. I don't even know who they were. Probably Bon Jovi, I don't know. And they caught me, and I was like, I want to be one of them. So from that point, I started to I had an old guitar at home, and I tried to play. I didn't have a clue how to play guitar.
Yeah.
And then I started to learn something. There was one of my neighbor that was playing guitar. He teach me something, and then I went to the church. I start playing the church, and then I fall in love with bass guitar, and then so on. That I think is like a more natural process for me.
Yeah, that's good. They're really cool stories. Like both of you really. So if there's people out there watching, and they're sat there thinking, they want to get a band together, they want to start music. Do you have any advice you would give to them?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, Andrea, do you want to go first?
No, go.
I think you know, at first, everybody, I think, falls in love maybe for different reasons, but I think something catches them, whether it be, they want to go out and become the next biggest rock star, or maybe something more personal, because actually music means something to them, as in like the feeling they get from it. So it's quite hard to sort of like definitely say what you can do, but I would just say just enjoy what you're doing. Obviously keep something in mind. If you're really wanting to, let's say you want to go all the way and make music your life, look at that as your end goal, but know that obviously there's going to be a lot of struggles along the way. It's not an easy industry, but at the same time, I will say that the amount of times we've gone 3 steps forward or 1 step forward, 3 steps back, we still, years later doing it, just shows you that the love of music and the people you meet and everything, and still striving to get where you want to be, whether you get there or not, in the end, you start realizing, actually, it doesn't really matter. Yes, it would be amazing if you do, but you've actually, all the little successes that you've done is great, because the journey is what it's about.
Yeah, 100%. Do you have anything to add, Andrea?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking exactly the same what Nick said. So yeah, I actually, my advice would be, just feel, like feel what you want, and just make your goal with that, and do not have any expectations, to be honest, because that sometimes is make you give up sometimes for that, because sometimes you don't achieve what you actually wanted, but basically that's it. I mean,
no, 100%. I think, and I've said this before, the reason I go to a lot of local music shows and a lot of shows, like local shows and stuff, is the bands love it and they're feeling what they're doing, and they're doing it because they're in it, because they love it. I'm not saying that if you go to see like Bring Me the Horizon, for example, they don't love it. Of course they do, but like it's a different feeling of like passion and love. I don't know how to describe it. It's like two different kind of levels of it, because you're obviously still trying to like build that bridge, or you're just playing for the fun of it, which is fine. So completely agree. So this is the part of the interview podcast, I don't know what people want to call this anymore, where some people try and find this bit hard, but whatever. I give you the chance, if you want to ask me a question.
All right. So other than obviously your love for music, what was your definitive point where you thought, well, actually, instead of just being a listener, you wanted to be more involved in the music scene as you're doing now?
I've started listening. Me watching like local music goes back years. And it was mainly, I got friends that are in a band, and I basically have followed them from start to finish. And when I was first watching them, if I'm honest, I was going just as a friend to be supportive and be like, yay. And then it grew. I think my point was COVID hit. And I was really worried about the music industry going forward. And that was a pinpoint for me of like, I like this more than I thought I did. Because I was worried. I was like, I'm not going to get to any live shows. I'm not gonna like, I don't know, I didn't know if it was going to come back, to be honest, and I wanted it to. And it started with like Let's Talk Music as a whole. Started a conversation with a friend. I messaged him like, can I interview your band on my YouTube channel? My YouTube channel originally was just random videos. I took them all down because I was like, this is what I'm going to focus on now. And I think, yeah, and then it went from that to like, I put gigs on now and stuff like that, and it grew over the last 3-4 years I've been doing it now. But it literally was a conversation with a friend, was like, we need to make sure that when we come out of this lockdown and all this stuff's gone, that music is still going. So yeah, that was probably my pinpoint.
Well, that's really amazing. I mean,
Yeah,
I think for a lot of bands, you know, that time was bad for everyone. I mean, I think people say over, but I think there's still the repercussions from that, you know, obviously this cost of living crisis that was, you know, straight after the pandemic supposedly ended, but, you know, has it really?
Yeah.
Because people getting it. So,
Yeah.
but let's say it officially ended, I don't know, end of 2022 or whatever it was. You know, venues were still closing down, and promotions were giving up, bands were giving up. There's a big thing about, I think at the moment, with there were a few bands that were lucky to sort of somehow get onto all these sort of like gigs and all that, and still being booked, and the rest are sort of like just trying to get the scraps, which is now a tough part, or I'll say a big tough part for up and coming bands, never mind the ones that are just starting out. But it's people like you that are sort of like helping the industry back up again, because the bands are out there doing their thing, but you know, if we don't have the promotion side to back it up, like all the support we get from all bloggers, vloggers, whatever you can get is amazing. So yeah, thank you so much.
No, honestly, I love doing it. I wouldn't do it otherwise. And it's like the gig that I recently just did what I was talking about at the start of this thing, what the Blue Line, we did a Let's Talk Music Blue Line takeover. Blue Line is a studio in Bournemouth, and they rent out rehearsal space, and really cheap rehearsal space. So it was to help them out, so that more bands knew about them in the area, because it is cheap but like decent rehearsal space. But it was also to get a band that had never played a gig to play a gig in front of people for the first time, and to just get their stuff out there. And I filmed loads of stuff to like post everywhere, just to get them noticed and for them to play in front of people for the first time. A little bit more intimate, a little bit more like, because it's in like a studio rather than like a venue. But yeah, and I think they came up to me afterwards, like just thanked me, because they were like, well, it got us playing, and there's videos and there's things we can share, and then hopefully also it will obviously give some rep to Blue Line as well for giving cheap rehearsal space, because that's kind of this important. So yeah. Andrea, did you have any questions for me, or do you want to move on?
I was just I was very curious listening your story actually, and is your my question is, where did this coming from? I mean, like it's coming from not only COVID, but I believe only from some background that you got, or like
I don't really know. Like I don't know if I can pinpoint it really. I think I went to my first live music gig, like local one. There was like a youth festival that they put on in Bournemouth, and it was like young bands, so like bands like 14, 15-year-old kids playing in bands. Um that was my turning point of like, I love going to this, I love doing this, I love watching this. And then yeah, and then I kept, and then obviously like before COVID happened, I was like going to more and more stuff, and I was really enjoying it. And I like going to local music because you meet people. I get talking to about 5 people at the bar, like before I've even gone down to see the band. And that's what I like a lot about it. And I just, there's vibes like, and then like I said, my friends are in a band. And I played drums a little bit when I was
nice.
11, 12. I probably could pick drums. So like I like have played on and off. So put a drum kit in front of me, I probably could play a little bit. But so I do have the passion as well for music in the sense of like doing that. Yeah, I mean, I came from more, if I'm honest, performing arts background. So I did like plays and stuff. And I am creative in that sense of mind. So anything creative as well, because I also fight for local theatre because I'm like, that's also very important. But yeah, anything creative I think needs to be put out there a little bit more, basically. But yeah, I don't know if I can pinpoint a reason, but it was just, I don't know, it was all the combination of everything, really.
I think like connecting to what I said before, and it's just like a feeling that you cannot explain.
Yeah.
It's like a faith, you know. Sometimes you have a faith, but you don't know actually where it's coming from, you know. And I believe it's that same common feelings that art in general, not only music, or you know, this what you're doing, it's art as well, you know. So I believe, and then yeah, it's something that you cannot explain sometimes when someone asks questions like I asked before, you know.
No, exactly that. I just, like I said, I can't really pinpoint. It was a mixture of stuff altogether. I did actually write a play last year, and I put it on local theatre. And I used local music within that play for some of it as well. So I combined the 2 things I like together, which was quite nice. So before we like wrap it up and tell people where you can be found and things that you're doing, I do have one last question for you. It is, what would you like, if your dream place to play, or band to play with, or place to play? So like answers I've had before, for example, like I would love to play a download or something like that. Do you have anything like that?
Mick?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of the bands in the UK, especially rock metal bands, will probably go download as like the grail. And I get why. It's a massive festival. You'll be playing to a lot of people. But I think for me personally as well, I'd love to play that festival. As well as playing many of the festivals in Europe, for instance, where there's so many which are sort of on that same sort of level. But I think bringing Feral Sun back for a sort of South African tour and bring her back to the hometown for the first time after leaving many years ago, I think that is a real big one for me. And then obviously anything like playing download would be amazing. But yeah, to sort of step out from the download thing, that would be the one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously for me as well. Like the list is huge, but if I have to choose one, I would say Pinkpop Festival.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing back in the day Soundgarden and Pearl Jam playing that festival, and I remember I thought that I would like to play in that stage. And but obviously download, as Mick said, and there are so many festivals here and stages that we would like to play.
That's so cool. So we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna tell people where they can find you. Are you on like the socials? What have you got coming up? Have you got anything coming up? Just plug your stuff.
Yeah, no. Well, we've got Hard Rock Hell up in North Wales coming up as our first gig on the Saturday, 9th of March. Then we're going up to Nottingham to play the Old Wine Vaults with the Dockema Horizon. They're good friends of ours, so that's going to be good to see them again and share a stage with them. And that will be on Saturday, the 30th of March. We've got some more dates coming in. We've just booked one up in Northampton at the Black Prince, I believe, which will be headlining. So, we're looking forward to that. And, we've just got on board with management that are helping us with the gigs. So there's a few more in the pipeline. But otherwise, you can get us on all your profiles: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, you name it. If you're looking for our music, it's literally all platforms. Deezer, Amazon, you name it.
Fabulous. Thank you guys for coming on. It's been great talking to you. Thank you guys at home for watching, as always, obviously. I want to plug some of my own things real quickly. So we got 4 Rock Beats Cancers coming up this year now. So we have the first one, which is June. Oh no, it's not actually the first one anymore, but we'll get there. We have June the 7th and the 8th, the Anvil and 4 Horsemen. And then we are doing a Rock Beats Cancer Unplugged at the Conte Lounge in Winton in Bournemouth on the 19th of May. More information coming out that soon. And then we are doing a winter Rock Beats Cancer in Southampton at the Hobbit. So all good gigs coming up soon. Hopefully some more stuff with Blue Line as well. Again, thank you guys for coming on. If you guys want to know who at home, or even you guys want to know who's playing the Rock Beats Cancer in June, do check out my socials. The posters up for that. I'm announcing October soon, and Unplugged, more on the Rock Beats Cancer Unplugged information coming up. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching at home. Thank you guys for coming on again. Thank you a million times. You guys at home, keep on playing, keep on listening, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.